All right, everybody, welcome to episode 18 of Top Bin Talks. I am presented by FTF Canada. I am one of your co-hosts, Adam Jones, joined as always by Mr. Kwame Owua. Kwame, how's it going, buddy?
Going great. It seems like every time I'm like, yo, I'm back in Toronto, people are probably like, yo, this guy's always back home. But hey, anytime I have a chance to come home, because now that I live closer, I'm gonna take the opportunity. But yeah, I'm here for a surprise going away party for my cousin. So that's a blast. And the weather is nice. Enjoying it, bro. No
Finally summer,
complaints.
buddy. It's finally getting to that point. Like over here
Yeah.
too in Vancouver, it's nice, it's sunny, it's hot. I'm just super thankful I'm not playing because I fucking hate playing in the heat.
Heat.
I can't do it. It's just I
Really?
prefer the rain. I love the rain. I love playing in something that's a little bit cooler in the rain. I don't know. I just
This guy's a real West Coast guy. I thought you were gonna say I love playing in the winter. I hate playing in the cold, bro.
yeah, but
I
our
rather
cold
play
is
in the
like
heat.
5 or 6 degrees. Like that's cold.
Nah, but like I remember when I was at Vancouver and like obviously preseason's in January, and people are like, "Yo, wearing pants, rain jacket." I'm like, "Bro, y'all are." I'm wearing shorts and just like the quarter zip. I'm like, "Bro, we chilling, man." Like it's not. It's bro. I'm playing in the winter. I hate having my feet cold. That's the thing. Like it just. I'd rather be hot and pace myself than be freezing because you're just uncomfortable all the time.
I get that, but like again, like I think like what you think is cold is like
Yeah, it's like minus 20,
the
25.
end of the world on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that might
that
be a
would make
sign
a
of the
lot of sense.
apocalypse.
Yeah,
Like
that is true.
I don't remember the last time where I really had to like train or play where my feet were frozen. Do you know
Damn,
what I mean? Like,
what a
and
life you
for
live.
me, part of the thing I like is I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll warm up with a rain jacket and pants
Mhm,
because I'm warming up. I can always
mhm.
warm up. I can't cool down though. When it's too hot, like you can't
And
cool
you're just
down.
hot. You're just hot
It's
all the time,
you
24/7.
just sweat. I don't know. It's just not for me. I prefer like the rain, just a little bit cooler. That's just so I'm kind of lucky that we play
Yeah.
mostly in the rain.
No wonder you guys are all finesse out there, bro. Y'all don't really go through the trenches, bro. Y'all don't go through the trenches out there in the cold, bro. One thing I will give you, hot games, like after the game, you have to sit in your locker for like 15, 20 minutes just to cool, like get your body to cool down. You can't even shower right away. You'll just start sweating again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There is honestly nothing worse than trying to like get rid of sweat and have to
And
come out and
so
you just start sweating the second you leave the shower. That's one of
yeah.
the worst feelings in the world.
That is
It
100%.
honestly,
Sometimes I don't even put like I literally just get out the shower and I'll just literally sit there. If I start sweating again, I'm like, I get another time. All right, I guess we got to do this shit again. Run it back one more time.
just
Yeah.
turn the water off and sit in the tub and just be like, okay, what are we doing today? Are we sweating? Am I turning the water back on?
Look at the tangent that we went on about the weather, the temperature of the game. But yo, it is facts. The weather is nice. Enjoying it. It just sucks that some people have to play on turf, but like it's not
Yeah.
too hot in Toronto. It's like 23 degrees, so it's like perfect weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's,
about the same time. That's about the same out here. But
yeah.
obviously with this turning of the weather, end of the season's coming, Champions League final, we got League Cup finals. Like, fuck, what a time.
This is when, and then I hate when people say that, oh, wow, now like NBA's done, NHL's almost done, European soccer is almost done. Like, and then everybody's like, yeah, we're going on that 2 month break where like nothing's on TV. I'm like, bro, there's still MLS. Like, that's why people disrespect MLS like that. That's crazy,
But
bro.
like, you got MLS, you've got CPL, you've got the Women's World Cup coming up, you've got CONCACAF
100%.
Nations League, you got the Gold Cup.
Cup,
Like,
yep.
I
There's
think
so
like
much to watch.
I think that's the one thing that I do kind of like now that more things are on TV. Because I think at least when I was young, it always seemed like, well, those leagues are done. Obviously, MLS wasn't as big
Mm,
as it is now, but you never really knew when the Euros were on or
mm,
the World Cup or Copa America, Gold Cup.
mm.
Now it seems like it's every single summer there's some sort of a tournament to watch, which is
And
awesome.
And honestly, shout out to COVID for that because it forced things to get bunched together. Because obviously, we missed 2 years in most countries of football, so it's like, yo, now we're catching up. So it's like a big major tournament every year, and now they're seeing the numbers and like the record, and they're like, yo, we might have to do this every year now, every year,
Yeah,
every
I
two
hope
years.
they don't.
Yeah,
I like
no,
how staggered it is and stuff.
mm-hmm,
So, but no, it's awesome. It's going to be a good summer, man. Like
mm-hmm,
there's tons of football to
mm-hmm,
be played. There's tons of football to watch. Like,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, we keep getting these ridiculous storylines, man. Like,
Facts. Let's Oh, I know where we could start. First, let's start from our picks that we picked last week. You know, the vibes.
3-0.
Yeah, dog. I was like, bro, these motherfuckers, bro. So yeah, starting from the Canadian Championship, we didn't talk about that game, did we? The Canadian Championship games.
No,
No, we didn't talk about Forge versus Montreal.
just you know what?
Taylor two halves. I think Taylor two halves. First half, you could tell Forge was on the front foot. Montreal, shout out to their coach for making halftime adjustments. Forge was taking it to them. David Chonier, got to give him a big shout out. He was cooking, big time cooking, and it seemed like Forge should have been up in the first half. I think if they got a goal, it would have been a whole different situation. But then in the second half, it goes to experience, obviously depth of the roster, and fitness. Like Forge is how many games into this season? Montreal's halfway through, so it could have been a lot worse. Tristan Henry, big saves. I don't know what he's been on. I'm gonna
He's
text him
on.
later.
He's on
he's
one.
he's on
He's
one
on one right
recently.
now.
Yeah,
Like
he's been crazy.
oh,
Yeah.
he seems like he's gonna get to everything, even if he they're like, I mean, they conceded today. Alan Moussi smacked one and he got to it still. And you're like, holy, like everything, it seems like he's getting a hand on everything right now.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but this guy's he's on a man on the mission, bro. So but yeah, the Montreal game, it was an enjoyable game. I was fixing some furniture while I was watching it. So pass the time. But other than that, it was the result kind of sucks.
The big dogs kind of flex their muscles in both games. That's what it was. You know, like it does kind of suck because we thought like, oh my God, this might be the year that one, like someone makes it to the finals on an MLS team. But it's not, you know, it's what happens. Also, we should give a huge shout out, and you know, our thoughts are with hopefully Ali Ahmed's doing better. He's on the right path to recovery. Super freak scary incident too. Like one of those ones where it wasn't really a bad tackle. Yeah, it was a strong challenge. It was a very strong challenge. But just one of those things where it like seeing kind of what the diagnosis was with like a concussion and stuff, like you're kind of almost thankful because it looked way worse.
Yeah, 100%.
So
and I give him a big shout out and like hopefully wishing him all the best because he's close friends with my brother. They're the same age. So even when I went to go train in Vancouver, like I already knew who he was. And it just sucks just because like, yo, that could have been my brother. I was like, damn, yo, like, you know what I mean? So it's good to see everyone reaching out, everyone like posting them on the Instagram. So, and it just shows that how many people are paying attention to these games as well. So that was another thing that was nice to see. It just seems, and it also seems like Vancouver, they're developing a new playing style, new system. They're becoming more possession oriented. I don't know what changed, but something must have changed. Personnel change, obviously, but like something must have changed where they're playing to their players' strengths now, which I never understood. Because even when I was there, I'm like, yo, there's hella technical players, but why don't they try to like? But I guess moving around and stuff like that, and just seeing how the system now works better for them, like how they had 6 goals the other game against Houston Dynamo.
Yeah, they smacked Houston on Wednesday.
Smacked Houston, yeah. So it's like it's good to see them turning a new leaf. And even against St. Louis City, they created opportunities but just couldn't convert. And seeing them play out the back and everything, all that was brand new to me. Seeing, I was like, damn, yo, like, and St. Louis is a really good high pressing team. So it was like, okay, these guys are the bravery's there, the coaching is there, and you could tell obviously in the semifinals against Pacific. But Pacific, it seems like defensively something's just wrong. They're having some high scoring games. Like they can score, but they can't stop people from scoring either.
Well, so for me, the biggest loss was Cali.
Yeah,
losing Cali is huge. Like,
yeah, I don't know if that's sustainable. like that's wild.
Yeah, no, they've got to fix something, right? Like, well, who else did they lose? Dada Luke went to Ottawa, right?
They lost Bustos.
I'm saying from the back though. You lose Cali. Cali is a huge losing Cali. They haven't replaced them.
Yeah,
like they haven't. You know, So you lose Cali, that's a big one. Dadaluke's another one because he's now at Atletico, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played a lot of minutes last year, man. Like
Right
that's
back,
another
yeah.
big loss. Again, losing McNaughton, like
Yeah.
they've lost some key pieces that were kind of foundational pieces, even though Lucas obviously was,
Baldissimo was there too. Lost him
yeah,
to York.
losing Alessandro,
Yeah.
another kind of,
Yeah. It's
part of
the offensive
that
mid.
winning team, right? Like the one that
Yeah.
won. When you look at those guys, like it is difficult. It's really difficult to replace guys like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're starting to seem like it's the time for other guys to step up. Oh, they lost who was their left back last year, wasn't it? Chris Mavinga? No, not Mavinga. What's his name from? He was at Cavalry before that.
Oh, the left footer.
Yeah,
Oh shoot, British man. Mavilla, Nathan Mavilla.
Nathan Mavilla. So
Yeah.
he was there last year. He's gone. Like
Yeah.
they actually have had quite a bit of turnover. So,
Mm-hmm.
but again, they're so early in their season. I think that's the one thing that
100%.
we kind of, I think a lot of people, us included, looked at like,
Yeah.
oh, this might be the year for them to upset an MLS team and get to the final. They're right in the
Yeah.
swing of things now. Like it sets up for them really well. And I obviously we're all thinking that given the form they were in before the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a roster size like that, and
And you have to take into consideration the Canadian Championship usually doesn't start at this time. It usually starts like in July
yeah, they've definitely had to start it earlier.
because of the Leagues Cup that the MLS is doing, because the MLS teams are in the Leagues Cup as well.
But it's also now you're adding
International
more
break.
it's international break, but you're also adding more teams into the Canadian
teams.
Championship, right? So you have
Yeah.
to start it earlier to get it actually going, because you
Mm-hmm.
can't throw a ton of these games in at a certain point. You also have like the other thing is, okay, we're including League One BC teams. Well, League One BC only goes till July.
Oh shoot, I didn't know that. See, that's it.
So that's another wrinkle and that's
Okay.
thrown in there, right? So I think it's always going to be something that's ever evolving.
Yeah.
It always will be. But I mean, that's just the
Yeah.
way it goes. And it kind of starts now at the same time as the Lamar on Open Cup.
Yeah. But
So
that's why I give the CPL, it just sucks because they start their season in April and they gotta go play the Canadian Championship in May. Like we only have 1 month of actually match fitness. But like the Lamar Hunt, it starts at the same time, but like USL and MLS start at the same time as well. So like it's equal amount of fitness.
yeah.
Whereas like MLS teams in the Canadian Championship have a head start. That the reason why, like when I was at Forge and we done well, we played Montreal when we were hitting our peak, hitting our stride. So it was like, hey, they were in the middle of their season and they were doing really well, but we were cooking too. So it was like, damn, all right, like this is gonna be a match. But like when you have when you put
Maybe
in those
CPL needs to
factors,
move
yeah,
then. CPL needs
yeah,
to start earlier then.
100%.
Like maybe
Start
that
earlier.
and then because like you get away because there's been midweek games at times and you're kind of sitting there going, why are there midweek fucking games? Why aren't we starting earlier? Like I still will never quite understand that. Like I get, and don't get me wrong, I
think it's
understand
because certain
there's
places in Canada,
there's a weather component to it
Mhm.
for sure. Can you play it in certain places?
In Calgary
And
in March, I don't think so.
I mean, part of that's again like
I mean, we also play in Calgary in November or in October, so
that's like the
it
same
is.
thing,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully it's something that you lead to, and then it
Mhm.
grows to that, because again, in order to be able to do that at those times, it takes more money and more financial
Yeah.
investment, not just in players, not just in staff, in grounds
In
people,
facilities.
in investing into the city, because most of the clubs don't own where they play.
Mhm.
Right. So now you have to invest into the city to make sure that these things are playable. And if it does snow, well, what are our procedures? How do we get this game off? All those types of things. Right. So you'd hope that it would evolve to something like that, where again, you could get to this point and okay, we have equal playing time. We own stadiums now and you do all that kind of stuff, which would be great.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just like, this for me, this has probably been the best year of the Canadian Championships, because the old
100%.
group stage of the 3 MLS teams was stupid.
Yeah.
Like
Again,
again,
all MLS teams get a bye.
All MLS, and again, I understood it because you're like, well, based on the numbers,
Yeah.
You had like one CPL team that got a bye, and then everyone
Yeah.
else had to play in because I mean, all the Premier League teams get a bye to the third round of the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you kind of understand that if you're going to grow it to something stupidly big like that, like MLS
Mm-hmm.
teams and they get a bye, USL teams get a bye in the Lamar Hunt
Mm-hmm.
Open Cup, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you understand it to a certain point, but when all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, they get a bye to the semis, you're like, what?
What?
How does
You
someone
only
get a
got to
bye
play
to the
one.
semifinal?
That shit was crazy, bro.
So it's evolved the right way, which is
Mm-hmm.
a huge start. And then this year, man, we've had storylines, and
Mm-hmm.
again, like it's ended up like every other domestic cup ends up, man. Like
Yeah.
it really has. It really has. Like the two of the big dogs flexed their muscles and they got to the and they're at the final. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, not
Right?
100%. No, I totally agree. And they deserved it. Like they played the best out of everyone. So it's
Yeah.
not like it's yeah. But in other news, Toronto FC from fucking almost boiling down, melting over to finally getting a win, that much needed win against DC United. I was like, damn, bro. I was like,
The
it
big
sucks that I
result.
had to go. They needed that. And it's good that they got goals from their youngins too. So happy for DeAndre Kerr and Kosi Thompson, the senior, involved in both goals. Looking more lively in the Toronto games now. Sometimes you watch, you're like, "Is this guy you want to be here?" But seems like there's a lot more. And I know we spoke about the fan and Mark Anthony. One thing I did forget to mention was that a megaphone was thrown at Mark Anthony before that engagement. Yeah,
It was thrown at him before and then he threw it back.
yeah,
He got it back and he threw it on the field again.
yeah, bro. So I seen the video of the one of the guys throwing the megaphone at Mark Anthony, and I think that's how the whole thing started. So yeah, the fan can kick rocks.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That,
I
yeah,
saw that
100%.
happened at the end. I saw a
Yeah,
video where they went over to clap, I think, and then there was an
mhm.
argument, and then at the end he threw it. And they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What are you doing?" Like,
That fan can kick rocks
yeah, go pound
for
sand.
sure. Yeah, 100%.
Like it's just
Like,
that kind of
yeah,
behavior is just so
Whatever Mark
ridiculous.
Anthony said to him, yeah, he can hold that. Yeah, Mark Anthony for sure. Whatever you say, I don't care what he said at that point. You throw something, yeah, I'm saying everything with your mother at the end.
Well, it's just like it's also like the other interaction he has after obviously the story with Bernadeschi and Bradley, and someone like comes up to like walking in and is filming him to get a
Yeah,
reaction. Like what fucking world do we live in where you think that this is like all like you think this is what's gonna get you what TikTok famous? Really?
bro.
That's where we're at. Like you're like imagine someone in your job coming up to do that to you, trying to get you in trouble with your
Lined
boss or
up.
something like that. Like, are you
Yeah,
fucking
it's crazy.
serious?
It's
Like,
crazy, bro.
are we forgetting that they're human beings at their job?
Uh, people don't think that we're human beings. They think it's actually sad to see, but this is why, like, I understand guys like Draymond Green. I know it's NBA, but I understand guys like Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. Like when Kevin Durant goes on Twitter and claps back, I'd be laughing. I'm like, bro. And Damian literally like, bro, y'all are dumb. Like you guys are questioning people that do the shit for a living. Like I would never question a plumber if he was fixing my sink, but like, yo, are you sure that shit goes there? I'd be like, I would leave him to do his job.
You're
But
live
when it,
tweeting it and you're
yeah,
adding
like
them.
you're
Like,
adding it. Like imagine, like yo, like these people are out here acting like dudes is out here not trying. Don't get me wrong. There's people on that play soccer that just play for the money or play sports in general that just go there just to hoop that don't really care for the sport and the love of the passion of the sport. But you're not gonna sit there and say just because you're a fan, you love the game more than me. Like what? And you know the game more than I do. Of course, something wrong is going on at TFC, but like they're not just sitting there saying like, "Oh, I guess it is what it is." Like my best friend plays there. Of course, I know how angry he is about the results not going their way. So that's what's kind of trash. But I'm happy that they got a result, and then they ended up tying again. Fucking hell! He's like, up. It's like, damn, bro. They gonna have the record for the most ties. Yo, it's like what 8 or 9 ties now. Like it's
oh my
crazy.
god.
It's funny because they don't like as much losses as like some teams in the top half.
Yeah,
But
no,
they
they're
just
just
got like they just got like 9 ties. It's like yo, when you like, it's like 0-0 ties. It's not like it's like 3-3. It's like teams just can't score.
Yeah. Well, I think I wonder if like the mood would be different if they were 3-3 draws. Because the
100%
nil-nils,
because at
it's
least
just like it seems like it's boring. They're not
mhm,
generating enough and all that. Like they're just not doing enough to even get to score. Especially, and
yeah.
again, it's all the firepower, it's all the money that they've spent on the top end, right? So
Mhm.
it's a lot of stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you
If it
would
was three
hope,
three, I think if it was like 3-3 draws, I think people would feel a lot different. At least to be like, damn, Brandon Deskey and these guys are firing all cylinders.
yeah. You're like,
You know what I
oh, what
mean?
are you gonna do? Like they don't defend, but they score. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like that's what the reaction would be.
Mhm.
Um, But like, I mean, out of this whole situation, I'm kind of just hopeful that people are just gonna take this as a lesson and learning from it because it's kind of fucking ridiculous now. Like all this
Yeah.
stuff comes out, like they're dealing with something internally. I get that we report on it because that's a huge industry. Okay, we reported on it. Great.
That's it.
Fans don't need to come up now and start filming players trying to get reactions. Like you're trying to throw this guy under the bus with his boss now. Like
Dog, that's crazy.
how imagine that happening and having to go to work afterwards and be like, oh, okay, great. Now I have to go. I have to genuinely try and go to work and put in my best performance possible. Like when you go to work, do you have are you 100% your best every single day? No, you have bad days.
Mhm.
Like
You still
it's
show up
just
though.
it's that's the crazier thing. Like I even saw someone try and do that to JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee went to watch a basketball game and there's footage of the person in front of him filming him and saying stuff to him. And you're like, what are you?
And JaVale McGee's like, yo, I'm not that, yo, I will slap that shit out of your head. I'm
He's
like,
just
bro,
sitting
this
there
guy
and he's
is
like, I'm not gonna react because if I react, but that's the thing though, if he reacts, you give him exactly what he wants.
what they
You know what
want.
I mean? And
My
so
thing is, it's like there's no fear. Like, dog, this guy's 7 foot
there's
tall, bro.
but that's the problem though. There is no fear because he's filming it. So if he goes, if you've hit me, that's assault. I can sue you. Like that's how fucked up this is though. Because before, and like that's the part that it was before where there are no cell phones.
Yeah, they were just
You do
hitting the
something
shit out of these.
stupid. Yeah, you didn't want to do anything too stupid, or
It's
else
a
that would
human.
happen.
It's a human aspect, bro. People just forget about it, bro. I'm telling you. Like now that I haven't played for a while, like seeing stuff from the outside in, it's like the stuff that some of the fans say, even like the most loyal fans, even like people that sit in the suites, like you be hearing what these guys be saying. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, you have no idea what these guys are doing. Like, all you know is that soccer, you got to kick the ball and score. You have no idea. You have no idea about tactics. You have no idea about the other team. You have no idea of tendencies. You have no idea. So, like, now that I started watching these sports podcasts and like basketball, football, like all that stuff, and like even when you hear like Tom Brady or Manning brothers talk about football, and who calls it the old quarterback for the Tony Romo? Like he be calling plays, and you're like, yo, this dude is, and it makes you appreciate the game a lot more. But these guys, I guess in soccer, some of these fans just be like, yo, it's their way or the highway. Granted, in Europe, I understand because like there's a lot of culture behind it. And, like some of the teams are built from the city, from the people of the city. But like, dog, don't try to tell me how to play soccer, bro. No offense.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Well, I think it's like also, I think with regards to like football and basketball, because it's so schematic in
Mhm,
everything that you do, like Tony Romo can look at how a defense sets up
mhm,
and go, oh, they're playing this coverage. Because
mhm,
again, in football, there's only so many coverages you can play.
mhm,
You know what I mean? So it's like that's a little bit easier. But like the one thing that again that I've noticed that I used to do that I've refrained from doing now is when I'm watching a game, almost questioning why aren't you pressing or why did you choose to do this rather than this? Because it's
mhm.
also like, well,
I just watched the
maybe
game.
he's being told to do like that was
Yeah.
Bush's comment where he goes, I listen to pundits tell me I don't suit Pep because I dribble too much. Even in his city team, I dribble way too much. And he goes, he tells me to hold on to the ball like that. If
Mhm. Jack
he
Grealish, yeah.
if he told me something different and I wasn't
Mhm.
doing it, he'd pull me off the pitch. Like
Exactly.
everyone, like the clip of Thierry Henry going, I did this and I scored a goal, and Pep pulled me off at halftime at Barcelona because I didn't do what he wanted. Like
Yeah.
that's famous. Yet when Jack Grealish does it, it's like everyone, oh, here we go, Pep's gonna pull him off. He's fucking doing what he's asking. Like
Mhm.
so that's like the thing
Jack
for me
Grealish's
where
ball retention. See, and people don't understand. Like, if you knew Jack Grealish, you would know his ball retention is about 100%.
It's
The
ridiculous.
dude doesn't lose the ball.
And
So
when he does,
why
he's typically fouled.
he's fouled? Yeah. So it's yeah, he's like the most fouled person in the world. So it's like, why would Pep when they give him the ball? It's literally to slow things down because they're like, yo, there's too much transition. They're like, yo, just hold on to the ball.
When you get
Bro,
it, you can, and that's the
just
thing is
chill.
when you watch him though, and when it is up tempo, he
Yeah,
keeps tempo. He'll speed
that's
it up.
it.
Like he
100%.
knows, and yeah, you're right. It probably took, and I guess it's probably because he cost 100 mil and he didn't hit the ground running. Fucking new club, new system, and you've got to deal with Pep. That's gonna take time for
It took
anybody.
everyone time.
Anybody. I
It
don't
took
care. I don't give a shit who it
anyone that went to Man City to play for Pep, it took everyone time. Everyone.
So, like, that's the thing is now you look at him, you're like, oh my god. And I mean, we might as well stay on that topic. It was the FA Cup final today.
Oh, Man City.
Every single time the ball popped
goal in
up,
what, 36 seconds? Or 40
10,
seconds, some shit like that?
10. Every single time the ball just popped up, I went, gonna win, might as well shoot. I don't care where he is on the pitch. It's gonna go in. It's gonna fly in the top corner or something. Like that first goal was absolutely outrageous. Don't get me wrong, it's not great defending by Lindelof. Lindelof's got it
recently too.
Dude, he's so good. He's so fucking good.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable. I do think Lindelof could have done a lot better. Him and Fred. Fred kind of let the ball bounce and let De Bruyne get a run on it and to challenge Lindelof. But you can't fucking leave the ball there. You just can't. Like that's so criminal.
You can't. But it's like you're also not expecting fucking going to fucking strike. It's like
doesn't matter. But that's just so.
As a defender,
that's cardinal sin though. You don't head the ball there.
100%.
Like if you do, you're clearing it. You're not dropping it down. And then the strike is just it's world class.
Yeah, it is what it is. Because like if he did it and it landed to De Bruyne and De Bruyne scored that, you would be like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Like De Bruyne's right there. But like even though it's Gundo, you're like, yo, Gundo usually isn't doing something like that, bro. He's bringing that shit down. This guy said, it's the first minute of the game. Why not? Boom. I said, God damn. I'm like, yo, do I really want to watch this game? That's what I want. I'm like, if they're scoring this quick.
No, that's what I said. I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
No. Like I started instantly going, they've got to keep it within 3. like
there's no way. I'm like, they're scoring this easy. This might be a run out, bro.
Yeah.
But granted to Man U, kept themselves in the game, got the penalty, which is a harsh penalty.
I think it's a little harsh. I do. Yeah. I personally do. I just think his arm, his arm's out. He does make himself bigger, but it's pretty close. Like I don't really think it's a pen. At the same time, like Fred could have very easily given away a pen to De Bruyne. Like I think they're both on that line where if it's called, it's not coming back. And I get why VAR didn't just say, no, this is a stone cold penalty. Like they're like, you should go to the monitor. And then the referee. And the one thing I gotta say, this is a huge shout out because I know they get a ton of grief, is the amount of time the linesmen are right. Holy shit. It's incredible. It's actually incredible.
They got some supervision, bro. How you calling shit from? It's like, yo, that's
are you
wild,
hearing the ball being struck as you're looking across the line? Like it is fucking insanity. It is genuinely insanity. And again, staying on this topic, Anthony Taylor getting abused by Roma fans.
Yeah.
Like, and he had
he refed a good game. Just like for the players, bro, fans need to chill, yo. Like, I understand. Like, how do you lose all your your humanity? Like, you know what I mean? We just turn into mongrels if something doesn't go our way. Like, that's wild, bro. Like, the penalties depend. Like, yo, if you come off your line, bro. It's
the fucking rule.
That's the rule. Like, yo, you getting mad at the ref for calling the rule? Like, yo.
And the craziest thing is that
your goalkeeper.
The clip that's going viral right now is Jerzy Dudek against AC Milan, where he's walking 6 yards up, and when they didn't call it, and you're like, yeah, all of those, every single save he made against AC Milan in that shootout would have got called back.
100%.
And you're
100%.
That's the clip that's going viral. And then when it happens, I think the bigger thing was were the other penalty shouts. I mean, that was the bigger thing because Roman did have one where again he was kind of far away. It hits his hand. His hand's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
It's tight, but
I don't
it,
know. I honestly, if you let it go to penalties, then you can't complain because at that point, like it's 50-50. Anything can happen, and bro, if you lose in penalties, you lose in penalties. You win, you're happy. So if you let
yeah.
it, if you had 120 minutes for you to win the game, bro. I'm not. Don't make no excuses, dog. That's why even when I went to penalties with Montreal, I'm like, bro, we win, we win. If we lose, that's like, yo, we had opportunities during the game to win this game. So
Yeah.
it's our fault it went this far.
Yeah. No,
Like,
100%.
literally.
And actually, the one thing that I absolutely love that you said was like, how have we lost all our humanity? It's not sanity. It's just our
Yeah,
humanity
humanity.
of
Like, what
looking
are
at
we
someone else as a
doing,
human
bro?
being. Like
Like, imagine
it's
how much pressure the man was already feeling. He can't even travel home with his family. Like, he's with his
he's
family.
with his
Like,
wife and
like if
kid.
you if you caught him on his ones, like, okay, I would have been like, damn, he's Italian. I'll still be like, yo, you guys are fucked. But like, yo, dog, y'all couldn't even get like run the man any type of like or anything while he was with like y'all just still trying to attack him. I'm like, bro, like even in the olden days, like mafia man's really like, yo, no women or children. Like if he's with his family, like, yo, we'll let you slide today because you're with your wife and kids. But next time you're by yourself, but like, dog, he's like, I don't know. People just losing their minds. I don't know if it was COVID. He's just stuck in the house for too long and then forgot how to act in public. But that shit is crazy to me, bro.
I
That
mean,
shit.
it still doesn't help when your manager is doing it too in the car park afterwards. Like
Oh,
Mourinho's got to,
100% Marino.
Mourinho needs to get a massive fine and suspension for
Mhm.
that. He needs,
I'm sure he. I'm sure he will though.
he has to, because
I'm
that's
sure he will.
ridiculous. Because
I'm sure
again,
he
like
will.
that's emboldening the fans to do it, right? Like
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's not fit. He didn't run up and try and do it like
Hmm.
what they did, but
Hmm.
he got caught on camera doing it.
Yeah. Like
No,
he was cursing him out. He gave one of the Roma fans his Europa medal. But you have to give credit, yo. I knew Sevilla was gonna win that. They just always win the Europa. You can't do anything about it. The
they were
last
good,
10
man.
years, they've won 7 times. So you can't do anything about it. Them do this Sevilla League, bro. You can't do anything about it. Whenever they go to Europa, they go to Champions League, they get a hard ass group, they go to Europa, win that shit, come back to the Champions League. Bro, like they rather not even finish top four in La Liga. It's easier for them to win Europa than finish top four in La Liga. Them dudes is different, bro. I don't know. That's a Sevilla league. You got
It's honestly it's
seven
insane.
of those things, bro. Real Madrid of Europa, bro.
It's insane.
That's crazy. They're crazy. That's crazy. I have to give them credit. I just knew for some, like, yo, there's no reason. Like history, like repeats itself, bro. Like, bro, they're gonna win again. Like Roma was winning. Everybody's like, oh yeah, like Mourinho's about to win another European title. I'm like, dog. Maybe that's why he was mad too, because all the headlines were like, yo, Mourinho
Oh
doing
well,
this.
he's under pressure too, man. Like
Yeah.
he's a human being. He fucked up.
Mhm.
Like
Are they in the Champions League spot in Italian Serie A?
Roma? No,
Yeah,
no.
they're not.
You know what?
I
They
think they
might
are
be
because Juve
Juventus.
lost. Yeah,
They had their points deduction, then they got that
yeah,
reversed, and then they got
yeah.
reversed again.
Oh, these guys are scammers, bro.
Hey, another big shout out, Alfonso Davies, the one in the Bundesliga.
Mhm.
Dortmund
Dortmund
bottled
fucking
it.
like Arsenal. Dortmund and Arsenal are the same people, bro. They just produce good players. They're just production companies, bro. Look at the people that have come from Dortmund, yo.
That was kind of the nicest thing, because obviously on that day you don't have anything at the Prem at the top because City have already
Mhm.
locked it in. But to have that start for Dortmund and then for Bayern Musiala to win it in the 89th.
Oh, that's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
I was like, yo, there's no way. Like, it was the 85th minute. I remember I was doing my workout, and my GM comes to me. He's like, yo, Bayern's tied 1-1. So like, even if Dortmund loses, like, they still win. So Dortmund fans are hyped. I'm like, bro, you think Bayern's really not gonna throw the kitchen sink? At this, like, they're gonna throw everyone up top. They're scoring, bro. There's no way they're not scoring. 89th minute. And I don't know what happened with Jude Bellingham. I don't know if he's coming off an injury, like why he didn't start that game or anything like that. But I watched the goals Borussia Dortmund conceded and the penalty they missed. They didn't deserve to win that game. But then the last game,
No,
nah, they didn't deserve
no.
it. Felt bad for Gio Reyna though. That's the homie because he came in 2 assists in like 5 minutes. But Yeah, they didn't deserve it, but it was nice to see that like there someone was competing with Bayern. PSG already won their shit. Barca cleared the La Liga table.
Yeah, well, at least the city race went down to the wire. At least
Later,
later in the season, it
later
wasn't like
season.
the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Napoli winning this year was another
Serious.
unbelievable storyline, which is
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. Um, and then
Yeah, this year
obviously,
has really been dope with
yeah,
storylines. Like
and then look at the
really.
relegation fight in England.
Oh yeah, Leicester, bro. I can't believe it.
Everton,
Leicester.
Everton's find a way, man. They find a way. I watched the game too, and it wasn't like they sat back. They were on the front foot the whole time. They
Mm-hmm.
deserved to win. They did.
Uh,
Jordan
it
Pickford came up
just
with an
sucks,
absolutely massive save.
bro. It just sucks because like yo, you look at that Leicester team, bro, that's going down. And Leeds, sorry to my boy Jack Harrison, of course. Feel bad for you as well. But if you look at that Leicester team, Tillemans, James Madison, Carlo Pereira, um, is Schmeichel still in it, right?
No,
No, he left. He left to
yeah,
Fulham, right?
but you have
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes, Jamie
Harvey Barnes,
Vardy.
Jamie Vardy's probably the only one that's going to stay. All those other guys are gone.
Oh yeah, 100%. And actually, like
Ndidi's gone.
Indeed, he's
Like,
gone.
yeah. Tillemans is gone. Tillemans at the end of his contract.
Yeah,
James Madison for sure gone.
he's class, man. I
Unbelievable.
think
No one
like
talks about him. He's better than Mason Mount. I hate when people try to tell me that. Bro, if you put James Madison on a better team, he's right. Look at the
oh
numbers he
yeah,
puts up for Leicester. Ah. And I feel bad for James Ward-Prowse too, Southampton.
Southampton's another one. Yeah, and it is kind of funny though. Like again, it's people talk about like Brighton and Brentford right now,
Mhm.
and you're like, you guys are like two bad sign. You lose all your best players,
You
and
literally,
then two bad signings away from that potentially happening. Those signings don't work out. Like
yeah.
that's what the Prem is now, man. Like it is unforgiving and relentless. It is like
Yeah.
I think back at I think back to some of those Southampton teams where you had Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, Virgil van Dijk, Nathaniel
Sadio
Klein,
Mane,
Mane, Graziano Pella was up top. Oh,
Morgan Schneiderlin.
Jay Rodriguez was in the England team.
Yeah. Morgan Schneiderlin.
Schneiderlin, like
Dog.
they were
And
so
you just
good.
lose. But like the thing is, it's like, yo, when those big teams come at be like, yo, take 60 million, you're like, bro. You both look at each other, it's like
Dude, look at Leicester, Riyad
yeah.
Mahrez, and Conte and N'Golo Conte,
Danny
man.
Drinkwater, fucking Albrighton, like man's went to
Yeah,
Chelsea. Yeah,
Christian
they just
Fuchs.
Christian Fuchs. These guys just disappeared. They're like, yo,
That's what happens.
it's
But
like,
like that's what I mean. Like but like Brighton and these other clubs where it's just see what they're doing. They like that's almost the trajectory because they have to rely. Are they gonna find another Alexis McAllister? Matoma? What a player he is.
no, that
Like
guy's different.
like you just look at these signs and you're like, they've done an unbelievable job of finding these players. It's incredible.
100%.
But if they don't
100%.
work, because that's the biggest difference between those clubs and a Man United or a City, where Jack
Mm,
Grealish is 100 million pounds and he can sit and
mm,
rot on the bench for a whole year learning the
mm,
system. They can't afford for him to do that
mm,
for another club, right? So like that's the trick and that's the bind that they're in, and that's why it's so cutthroat. But
mm.
man, oh man, like honestly, on the last day to have three different clubs fighting to try and get out, it's finally like it's just some entertainment, man. Like
Yeah, 100%. And they're all good teams too. You know, back in the day, like when it was like those three teams trying to fight for relegation, like they played terrible football. But all those teams actually are really good. So you're like, damn.
oh yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
they
they
might come up
actually
next
play.
year. They might.
Yeah, they actually play really good football. Like Leicester plays good football, Leeds plays good football. Like Southampton plays really good. Like so, it's like damn, like you guys went out swinging, but it's just that's how much better the Premier League got. Like teams like Brighton and Brentford are like, nah. Ivan Toney been suspended since halfway through the season, still like top three in goals. It's just
Oh, he
hilarious.
only missed he only missed like 4 games, man, at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he
I
played
thought
the
he got
rest of the
suspended.
year. No,
I feel like that guy hasn't even been there. Maybe.
the suspension came at the end of the year. That's when they
Yeah.
ruled on it. He was accused before the England camp when I was like, he's the one you take. He's got to be, he has to go to the World Cup. Has to.
Yeah,
and then he didn't take him. I
they
was like,
took Callum Wilson.
what an idiot, all stuff. And then that story comes out. I was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, Southgate really dodged a bullet there because that would have been. Oh, think about the headlines coming out. If he had taken him, yikes.
100%. Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you give more credit to Erling Haaland scoring 36 goals with Man City or or Harry Kane scoring 30 goals with this Tottenham team?
Do I give more credit?
Like what holes? Like what's more like bro? I don't know, bro.
You know what?
Like,
you know what I'll say?
Like
I think based on the way the year went, Haaland was full value, man. He had to score those goals if City. If he's not there, City don't win the league potentially. You know, he also got taken off a lot. He didn't play every minute like Kane did. So think about how many goals he could have scored if he gets left in games. Kane doesn't come off the pitch. Doesn't matter if he's got 4 goals.
Was Tottenham in Champions League this year?
No, Europa Conference.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they had to rotate. Man City had to rotate the squad. First of all, because they can't. Secondly, because like they got Haaland for the Champions League. So I understand that. I think that if Haaland wasn't there, City wouldn't be where they are in the Champions League. But I still think they win the league.
I don't.
I still think they win. If they, let's say, who did they have last year? Who did they have before Haaland?
Gabriel Jesus.
But they Gabriel Jesus
and Aguero. They had Kun Aguero. So
yeah.
Julian Alvarez isn't him yet. So
yeah.
I'm saying
Haaland
if they had the players that they had, and they have Harry Kane, they win the league.
Yeah, I think if they have like a solid 9, and by solid, I mean like of course like a top 10, top 15 9, then like I still think they win the league. But I don't think they get as far in Champions League because they put so much emphasis on Champions League that like Harry Kane bagging 30 goals with this trash ass Tottenham team, bro, is wild.
Everyone says they're trash. They're not even trash. I just don't think they're that good of a team. They're just not a good team.
His because his like really backpacks a team. That's what I mean. It's like dog. It's like his way. They're finishing like they finished what 7th or 8th or something like that.
Something like that. Sad,
bro.
7th.
Yeah,
Brighton. Bro, I think came 5th.
No Harry Kane, bro. They are in like the regular relegation battle, bro. This guy
they're with Chelsea. They're bottom of the half with Chelsea. Bottom half with Chelsea.
He's saved
Harry
Tottenham, bro.
Harry Kane's coming to United.
I don't care where he go. He need to leave Tottenham.
He has to. He's gotta go. Gotta go.
He should have left. He should have left 2 years ago. When they fired Pochettino, he should have said, "Yo, all right, yo." He said when they fired, bro, bagging 30 goals, and these guys is like, "Yo, you guys are some ass." He's like, "I'm taking free kicks. I'm doing everything." Son missing breakaways, like yo, full on breakaways, like NHL breakaways. Human Son. I'm like, what's going on with this team, yo? Richarlison scored 2 goals in like 30 games.
Scored more goals at the World Cup.
Bro, he's looking at Richarlison. He's like, are you serious right now? He's like, you send you back to Everton, bro. God damn, yeah. That's how I was just gonna ask because I seen that on Twitter, and I was like, yo, that's a great question. Like, what? Wait, like, it's almost like how Dirk Nowitzki won the NBA championship, but 2011 against the Monsters, the LeBron. It's like, damn, that ring weighs a lot heavier than a lot of other rings. But
for sure,
yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Well, that's like the that's one, and then the other one too. It's so funny because obviously with City potentially winning a treble, even though I think it'll get redacted in 3 years when this investigation finalizes. Looking backward, like obviously everyone's trying to compare the United squad to this one. The amount of people that forget who played world football in the late 90s, early 2000s is fucking mind-blowing. Like people like this is something honest that I heard was like, oh, you have to have Kyle Walker instead of Gary Neville at right back because Walker pocketed Vinicius and Mbappe this year. And you're like, Gary Neville played against Luis Figo, Zidane, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho. Like you start listing off the footballers that he played against where you're like, he was actually world class for like 6 or 7 years. Kyle Walker's never been a world class fullback.
And probably Kyle Walker the last 3 years with City, I'll be like, it's weird because I think he's really good, but I wouldn't say
He's
he's
world
world class.
class. No, I
I
agree
would,
because
yeah.
it's on the
There's
ball
something.
part. It's on the
Yeah,
ball
there's
side of
something
it. He's
about
not
him.
there. He's not there on the ball. Defensively, oh,
Yeah,
phenomenal,
defensively, I'm like, yeah, this guy's the best defensive right back. Like,
phenomenal.
bro,
But it's
that's
like
why he starts with England. That's the only reason you have to play the man in England.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you have to. No, and that's the thing. Like I look at that, and that's why I was like, yeah, you play France, you play Spain, you play teams. Trent's not playing. Reece James ain't playing. You have to
They'll
play
get their
him.
boot. They'll get their
You have
boots
to.
smoked. You have to
But
play Kyle Walker, bro.
that's the craziest thing. And my favorite piece of content around that so far has been with Micah Richards, Jill Scott, and then Neville and Keane, where they tried to make a combined 11.
Yeah.
And it's true, man. Like again, you look at the different philosophies, different style. But again, if you have that United team now with the rules now, that's a little bit different. This City team, can you imagine Kevin De Bruyne trying to run away from Roy Keane and what Keane could get away with back then for a tackle? Jack Grealish going down as easy as he does. That shit doesn't like that wouldn't have been a foul. Gary Neville wouldn't have been called for fouls in that game.
No.
Like it's kind of way. And again, like you look at that, there's not many players in the current City team that would break into that one.
Kevin De Bruyne would.
De Bruyne would. You'd probably go. Honestly, you'd probably end up playing 3. You'd have Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Kevin De Bruyne. Honestly, like you would. You'd probably have Haaland up top.
I don't know.
But
I don't know if you have
over
Haaland
Andy
up top.
Cole. It's probably
you're talking about the 2000 treble team.
No, 99.
99 too. Okay.
Yeah.
Like with Solskjaer and them. Did Man U not win the treble when Ronaldo was there?
Nope, they won the double.
Oh, okay.
That's another one though, because I know they did like an all-time Premier League 11.
Oh, wasn't there? So then that 1999 Beckham was there, no?
Bex, Giggs, Andy Cole, Dwight York, Solskjaer, Teddy Sheringham, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Yap Stam, Gary Neville, Dennis Irwin, Peter Schmeichel was in goal.
Yeah, it might just be KDB and Haaland.
Probably, and the other one I would probably throw in is Ruben Diaz.
I don't know if he's better than Yap Stam.
No, Yap Stam and Ruben Diaz would be
Ruben
the two.
Diaz. Okay, yeah.
Ronnie Onsen wasn't quite. Ruben Diaz is. I rate him so highly, but like you
Who
look at that one.
Who was the left back for Man U that time?
Dennis Irwin.
Man City don't really got a left back.
Yeah, I know.
They don't have a left back.
Nathan Ake. Ake's played
those
there.
are center backs. Those are
Akanji, same thing, right? But like that's just like it's. You look at that team when you actually go back and you look at again, like that was the original Galacticos for being formed. Inter, you look at Maldini, you look at the AC Milan team that they had back then. Like, I think just people don't understand what football. Again, was it as fast as it is now? No, there's partly reason for that because if you moved that quick, you got kicked really fucking hard, and it wasn't a foul because he ended up touching the ball. He got the ball at the end of the tackle, not before.
Dudes was telling you to slow down with a kick. Like, yo, where you going? Boom.
Yeah. No, it's just like it's one of those arguments that again, it's fun to have, but when you actually line it up, you're like, let's be somewhat. And again, Rodri's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
I feel like it just depends on what rules you're playing with and like what terrain you're playing on because the fields are not as nice back then. And then as they are
which
now.
Probably slowed the game down a lot, right? Like it's not like they couldn't run back then. I think that was the argument someone I think it was actually Marcus who brought this up. It was like David Beckham would never be a winger these days. And you're like, are you serious? The guy was putting up stupid stats back then. He'd probably he might be a center midfielder or a fullback based on the way he played back then. But have you not seen the guy cross a ball?
Yeah. David Beckham would be one of the greatest wingbacks if he was in today's game. If he was in today's game, yeah, he'll be in a 3-5-2. Why? Wow, right wing back. Yo, this guy would be dangerous. So,
but to sit there, but I think we still get caught up in the idea that a winger now has to beat players 1v1 like Salah and stuff like that, and you're like, no, they don't. Think about him like. You now give him more license to go forward. He has less defensive responsibilities. Oh my God.
Ryan Giggs was fucking rapid too. You knew he was gonna
Giggs,
let
Giggs
you
was
wasn't catching him, bro.
unbelievable.
You
He was
you was you
unbelievable.
wasn't catching that white man. I'm like that he was Bale before Bale.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Literally, he was Bale before Bale, yo. Then Bale just got some more muscle on him, and then Bale just turned into a better goal scorer. Like I'm more of a goal
yeah,
scorer than Giggs.
probably.
Giggs wasn't a goal scorer.
But then
He could
Giggs
score goals, but
reinvented
like
his career, ended up as a center midfielder.
kind of mid. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah, bro. I don't know. That's kind of tough. I seen this Man City team for sure. I don't even know. This Man City team is not even my favorite Man City team, to be honest.
I've never had a favorite Man City team. I hate all of them.
Obviously, yeah, but I mean,
But
like,
I do like
even
watching
based on
them play.
personnel,
I do
I
like
do watch
watching
them.
them
I like
play.
watching them play, but like based on personnel, even though they have Holland and stuff like that, it's not my favorite Man City team. I think my favorite City team was when they had Leroy Sané,
Oh,
Raheem
that
Sterling.
was
Yeah,
early.
that one was
That was early
like when they
Pep
got
days.
like when they got 100 points, 101 points,
Aguero,
something like that. Yeah,
Sane.
yeah, that squad was
You know
crazy. That
what? That
speed
was
demons up top.
100% my favorite because you had
Yeah,
one of my favorite players in the Premier League ever, David Silva.
David Silva. Yeah, them dudes was cold,
Absurd,
bro.
man.
Them dudes
Absurd.
was cold. Fernandinho. That Man City team was my favorite team. They was knocking the rock. When Pep came, I was like, nah, David Silva was a magician.
Oh,
You have to give it, yeah.
he's incredible, man. He was incredible.
Yeah. Have you been following the U20 World Cup?
Not so much. I haven't really been
Hold on.
able to jump in.
I have to give a public service announcement. Yo, Nigeria, any other African countries, bro, y'all need to stop lying, bro. These dudes is not under 20, bro. They're grown ass men out there,
Oh my
dog.
god.
It's not possible, fam. Like, yo, these guys are, I mean, I'm from Ghana too. I'm 27 and I look like I'm 12. So imagine. Like, bro, we need to stop doing this, dog. These guys are just running through the tables every time of these youth tournaments. It's like, bro, this don't make no sense, yo. But
You know
shout out to
what
the
though?
US. The US is doing pretty well. They play they have a tough game. They play it's a big game too. I forget.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Yeah. I forget who they play,
you know
but
what though? If they're caught with that, the age thing, they usually get caught, and I think now they have bone scans. It's one of the ways they've
yo,
caught them a bunch is they
yeah,
do bone scans.
100%. Bro, I know because you think my grandparents know how old they are, bro? These niggas just be making that shit up, dog. Be making this shit up, bro. Give you guys
Oh
a
my
birth
god.
certificate, bro. There wasn't
They,
no birth certificates like that in Africa in 1920s, bro. In 19 fucking 30s. Come on, man. Yo, here, hold that. You look.
it's like it's from the
75.
bench warmers where it's just like a piece of paper that says I am 12 with a $20 bill in
Yeah,
it. You're like, and yep.
literally.
They play
That's
Uruguay.
what I mean. Yeah, see, that's a tough game. That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Uruguay, those South American teams, 20 teams are usually really good. But yeah, I haven't really been following too much. Only see it here and there. But U20 World Cup, CONCACAF Women's U20 that just passed. Canada lost to Mexico in the semifinals. Or is it U20 or U17?
Did they lose to
Yeah,
Mexico?
they lost to Mexico 2-1.
I'm not gonna lie.
And that's
They are
bad.
catching up.
Then that's bad. It's not bad that they're catching up. It's bad that we're not speeding up.
Further
Like
along.
we're not going. Yeah, it's bad that we're not like pacing ourselves ahead, especially with our technology and all that stuff, and like what the women's team has done, what our men's team has done. Like our grassroots should be like balling. Like if we lose to US, okay, but we shouldn't be losing to no one else.
To lose to like again. Oh no, I'm right there with you, and that's one of those things that we need to seriously take a look at, especially with everything coming. Of course, like, there's gonna be so many opportunities, there's gonna be so much funding, money coming in. Like it needs to be allocated properly. It has to be because this is like on the women's side. This is scary, man. How quickly everyone else is catching up.
And the women's game, the European women's game.
That one you're never gonna catch. You're never gonna catch that one again.
It's nice to watch though.
It is.
Like,
no, it's like
watching,
it's getting so much better.
I was watching Barcelona women's team, and like obviously when England won the Euros for women's, I was like, bro, this shit's rocking. Like, it might be slower, but like when you look at it, when you stop looking at it from a entertainment perspective, start looking at it like a real soccer player,
Mhm.
like most of us usually do. People always judge women's sports because like the entertainment value, but I'm like, bro, like they're not gonna be fucking running like Mbappe down like dog. Like, what do you expect? Like, it's not because they can't, but like most of women are not. I mean, gonna be as fast as Mbappe, so it's not gonna look as flashy. But like, yo, these girls are nice, bro. I'm like, damn, scoring bangers, like just the play. I'm like, damn, like, yo, they're cooking. So Canada
I
got to
think
be careful
yeah,
because the infrastructure out there is becoming better, and like down south, they're like, yo, if soccer is the only sport we can focus on, they're gonna be able to speed up.
big
So
time.
I think we need to
And
put
I,
more
do-
emphasis into
I
footy.
don't think just a pro league fixes it. I think that paints a
No.
crack. I think it's a huge step.
Mhm,
That doesn't fix the issue. That doesn't, like, if the foundation's cracked,
mhm,
building an extra part of the house doesn't help fix that crack.
mhm,
You know what I mean? It's awesome,
mhm,
it's great, but like, and okay, here we go. That's a huge piece to the puzzle.
mhm,
There's still an issue. But the one thing, like the one part of that conversation that I think it merits more thought is the entertainment side of going, okay, we understand that side of it, but how do we help that side of it?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is it that we actually need to do to make it more entertaining? You know what I mean?
Um,
It's a hard thing. Like, I have an idea of what it could be, but it
am I gonna get canceled for this? I would.
no.
So no,
I think it's the same. It's the
I have
same
something
thing
to
you
say for
do.
the entertainment thing. I know what you mean. So I always have to bring it back to basketball because obviously this is going on in WNBA and NBA. They're like, oh, why don't women dunk? I don't want to see women dunk. I don't give a damn. Women, all of them are skilled as shit.
Oh, their
Footwork and
handles are
everything. Like how do
ridiculous.
yeah, handles are ridiculous and everything. A lot of people are saying people are starting to watch because the consumers are women, but men will pay for something if now women are becoming like more attractive in those fields. So like men are getting like, oh damn, like girl. Like usually when we used to watch the WNBA, it used to be like, okay, like most of these girls are tomboys, this and that. But now that they're using like beauty as a way to attract like market themselves and stuff like that, more people are paying attention because obviously there's some scumbags that are fucking be like, like, yo, this girl's hot. Let me watch her play basketball. And then when she ends up being nice, you're like, damn, you kind of forget the fact that she's attractive. Like, yo, this girl's actually a baller. The attractiveness is just a plus side. So
Well, I
some people
mean,
are weird like that. So, but like that's how some people have been looking at marketing the WNBA because people used to be like, oh, like if you're playing sports as a woman, then you're a guy, which is not a thing. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But I guess they're just bringing their femininity into the WNBA and making it not comparing it to the NBA. They're making it their own. So I think like women's soccer, you just make it your own thing. A lot of people are gonna, because then it's gonna be too easy to compare. But if you do something that same sport, but something that's different approach, people are gonna be able to separate it.
Yeah. So like, if you're looking at it purely from an entertainment standpoint, again, like for me, I compare it to I think a pretty good comparison would be something like if you look at women's hockey.
Okay.
Women's hockey they outlawed hitting.
Yeah.
It's way more entertaining to watch now. And now you're seeing a lot more girls who are a little bit smaller than they were before, but they're fast as shit. Their
Mm-hmm.
hands are way better. They're more skilled. It's a more skilled game than a more physical game. When you watch the NHL now with Connor McDavid and these guys, like the things that go on the highlight reel are the skill stuff. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
the physical side, you were seeing it in the playoffs now, is super
Mm-hmm.
highly important to be
Mm-hmm.
able to have both. But okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, how do you, and the way I've always looked at it is, how do you make it aesthetically look the same? 100-meter sprint,
Mm-hmm.
the men are faster, but when you watch
Mm-hmm.
it, it looks the exact same. Like it looks the
100%.
same. Volleyball,
Mm-hmm.
it
Volleyball is
looks,
actually one
it's
thing is that's
fucking
actually
wicked to
very the same.
watch.
Yeah.
It is
I think
wicked to
that's one
watch.
of the sports that looks exactly men and women don't
Here's
really
the,
matter.
yeah, you want to know why though? The net's fucking lower for the women. Who cares? It fucking is awesome to watch.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's wicked. Like, so when you look at that, and that's the thing with that's part of it for the WNBA. If you want to have dunks, you're not lowering the net to something absurd. You lower it enough so where now all of a sudden you can aesthetically watch this and be like, look at fucking how high they jump.
But I think the right now because Steph Curry obviously changed the game. So like even in the NBA, dudes that jump out the gym don't be dunk. Like you don't really be seeing dunks like that. Like obviously you see a fast break, you see a dunk, but like it wasn't how it was in the back in the day, pick and roll and a man just like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Now because everybody's just shooting, they don't need to lower the net anymore because these girls are just cash. You know what I mean? But back to soccer, like you're seeing women's team that have multiple talented, skilled players on their team. Back in the day, like it would be a women's team, everybody else was just physical, and like you have that one star player, like you had that Marta, then you had Christine Sinclair, then you had Abby Wambach wasn't that skilled, but I guess he had Abby Wambach, Mia Hamm. You know what I mean? Then you had one person, and everybody else around worked for that one person. Where now it's like, yo, there's like a left wing, like Tobin Heath for me was one of the most skilled female soccer players that I've saw, and I'm like, yo, this girl is all you're doing, step over this, just stuff like that. I don't expect you to be as fast as Mbappe, but like if you're hitting girls with skill moves and stuff like that, you're not just running past them because you're more physically like, yo, then I'm gonna be like, damn, these guys are nice.
So here's my suggestion, and you can talk like honest opinion. This is my honest suggestion. You don't fuck about with the ball. You don't fuck about with the goal size, any of that bullshit. You just make the field a little bit more narrow and a little bit shorter. So now the spaces in between aren't as large.
Great. So it looks
the
like
one thing you talked
faster.
about, exactly. So when you look at like striking a ball cross field, or when you look at like, well, we don't expect you to be as fast as Mbappe, but what if you look as fast as Mbappe getting to a byline just because it's a little like, that's where my thought process went, because it was like, well, if you do that, you're not fucking with the game at all.
But if you think about it, he's played like Yankee Stadium. It's almost the same shit. If you really think about it, because Yankee Stadium's a small ass field. So it's like men can play over there, and obviously it looks smaller, but you'd be looking at NYCFC, be like, damn, these guys are technical as shit because it's smaller. So I understand what you're saying. But like, yeah, I guess that's the greatest suggestion. I think that's the best suggestion someone's ever had, to be honest. I'm giving you credit for that one. That's actually good. That's actually good.
Shit.
Yeah, that's actually a good suggestion. Because I never really thought about it like that, because it doesn't, like, obviously most fields are 120 by 80, if that's the max. But if you put it like 115 by
you're not doing it to reduce number of players. It's literally you just make it so that the spacing, now all of a sudden spacing within, because that's the one thing that I think when you talk to a lot, when you listen to Pep and Jurgen Klopp and they go, yeah, our spacing wasn't very good today. And you were like, it looks so fucking tight on this massive pitch because of how fast the ball moves, how fast they all move, and how important spacing is. Whereas I find when I watch a women's game, I'm like, there's so much
space. Yeah.
It almost looks like too much at times. So now if you make it not noticeably smaller, but just the pitch is tighter, where now all of a sudden it looks like it just makes it look faster.
Make that pitch a 115 by like a 73. You know what I mean? Like a 72.
Just enough. Like you make it enough. And again, it's not a simple fix, because you need to 100%. Actually figure it out. Well, what is the proper size that we go down to, and making sure to do all this stuff, right? Like it's definitely not a simple fix. And there's also the whole idea, well, if you're going to do that kind of has to trickle down to grassroots stuff. So how do you fix that, and fixing pitches, all of those types of things, right? Like it's not a simple fix, but from purely an entertainment standpoint,
that's good.
That makes sense.
100%. But like, since the Women's World Cup is coming up, like these results from the U20 national team, like obviously they're not favorable. So hopefully, like, because this generation of Canadian women's team is what they got 6 years. I'm taking out Christine Sinclair because like she's past the generation, but like talking about like Kadisha, Ashley Lawrence, like what they got like 6 years maybe till like 32, 33.
You're hoping for 2 more World Cups.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
out of that, the older.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, if these guys can't even beat Mexico that are coming up, like something's got to change. Like, Something's
I'm
gotta
hoping
change.
that's ringing some alarm bells.
Hmm. And
I
then
hope it's ringing some alarm bells because again, obviously a pro women's league is going to help. It's going to
yeah,
help more players playing, more development. Um, but again, it's still one of those things where I still look at our own thing with our national team right now, where it's like, okay, well, the next evolution for our national team to truly continue to fight and compete is to get more guys at the highest level, which is overseas.
100%.
Like
Hmm.
if we want this to be a system where we can build from. So that's the way we have to target this for the
Hmm.
women's league as well. Like unfortunately, right now, if a player is good enough to go play in the NWSL or in Europe,
Hmm.
fucking get rid of them and let them go do it and push
Go.
them to go
Yeah.
do that because that's
Hmm.
going to help the national team. And it's also going to free up another spot for another player now who can then hopefully
Hmm.
develop.
Yeah.
But it's a hard one, man. It's a
Yeah.
hard one.
Uh,
Like
100%. Like,
it'd be
but
I would really love to have someone kind of come on who's kind of gone through that process, to be honest. I'd love to hear and listen to that. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can. Maybe does it matter if they're Canadian or American? I'm gonna see if I can probably get someone that's on like the Washington Spirit national team. I mean, not
Cool.
national team, Washington Spirit and WSL team to see.
Yeah, why not?
Um, yeah. What was I gonna say? Speaking of the national team, obviously the Gold Cup's coming in. Herdman said that he was gonna bring most likely the same players, but now it seems like he's changing his thoughts on that, which is, I guess, because you have the Nations League, you have the Gold Cup. Like, there's a
Well,
lot going
I think
on.
some of the
It's like
boys from
it's gonna
Europe
be a
are
mix. Are
getting told you
calling
can
out.
do one or the other. I don't think
Yeah,
they're allowed to do both. So now all of a
yeah.
sudden, which do you
So,
prioritize?
I think you have a better chance. I think you have a better chance with the Nations League. To be fair,
Yep. I
yeah.
do not
Because
disagree
Gold
with
Cup
that.
tournament soccer like a Gold Cup
It's
is
also
difficult,
hard when it
and
starts,
you're
man.
traveling.
Like the
Yeah,
Gold Cup starts in late mid June. Like
yeah,
it's just difficult. It's just difficult. Oh no, it's the end of June. It starts like June 24th. It's
yeah.
fucking late, man. That's
There's a lot going on this summer. Like a lot with the Women's World Cup, all that stuff. Like there's a lot going on. Leagues Cup, that's part of the MLS, the Gold Cup, like Nations League. Like there's so much shit going on. That's obviously as a player you wish you can play in all of them, but those guys have to be smart, especially the guys that are finishing off their seasons that have played multiple games and travel, especially in Gold Cup, traveling to different cities just to play these games. Like, yeah, that shit's miserable. So, I mean, the preliminary roster came out and was it 60 people deep? I'm glad to see Ali Ahmed on it. Some new
yeah.
additions. Aiden Morris from Columbus did not know he was Canadian. Had no damn
Aiden
idea.
Morris is on there, and there's someone else I thought too. Fuck.
There's a guy that
Can't remember his name now.
Yeah, but it's good. I'm happy for those guys because
You're starting to see a bigger picture of players where you're like,
yeah,
okay, it's not,
which is always
and if you can now increase the number of camps, you're like, okay, well, great.
yeah,
Well, for this camp, we're gonna bring in all MLS and CPL guys. This camp's
yeah,
gonna be this is our full camp. It's World Cup qualifying. We're not fucking about.
yeah.
Here are our big boys.
It's good. It's good to see that we have a lot of players playing at the highest levels. No more unattached guys. I used to hate that when I seen the national team list. I see unattached.
One now.
Oh, Daniil just got waived
Yeah,
from
just got released.
East. Do you think he's still gonna get?
Minnesota.
You think he's gonna get called to the national team? I don't think. I don't.
He'd have to find somewhere to play. Like he can't
Nah,
have him
yeah,
come in and
you
play,
can't do
man.
that no more.
You
Yeah,
can't
you
do
can't
that
do that.
shit. We're
Yeah,
like, are we
past that.
fucking elite or not?
Yeah.
I think what they did for the World Cup, where he was there, he was on this coaching staff, all that stuff. It's perfect.
Perfect.
That's perfect. If that's the role that he plays within that, man, like that's such a key and important role. Bring him in, hire him as a coach then. But no more, like there's no more fucking.
Yeah, you can't waste the roster spot.
No, there are too many good players now. It's
Yeah.
one thing if the guys are injured. One thing if that's the case, that's completely different. There's that's a variable that's now added to the equation that then you can see. But
we have way too many good center backs now in Canada.
We gotta be beyond that, man. We gotta be beyond that. If we're trying to build something, those guys need fucking reps. Younger guys need actual proper reps.
We actually have a lot of center backs in Canada now, bro.
Well, Hybrid now coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
awesome. Joel's playing more and
Joel,
more and more.
Zator playing in Poland.
Zats is getting called
Yeah,
into, which is awesome. Like,
Kamal,
Kamal.
Kamal, Scott Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like,
And
so
it's
Derek
kind of nice.
Cornelius playing at Malmo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice because at first time you're sitting there, you're like, oh my God, who the hell replaces Vittoria?
hmm
But now
now
you're
it's
starting to
calm.
see, you're like, okay, here we go. Like this
Lucas
is
McNyan.
they're starting to genuinely build that, right? Like they're building a proper foundation, which is just
hmm
it's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
hmm
Alistair's killing it in Scotland.
Alistair, yeah. See, I'm happy for those guys, bro. Kyle's killing it in La Liga, bro.
Oh,
I'm
been
like, this guy's
awesome.
different, bro.
Been awesome.
What a guy,
It's been
100%.
awesome.
But other than that, anything else? What else we got? We got MLS games today. We got CPL games. I mean, Forge is losing to Calvary right now, I
They
believe,
yeah,
or
they
they
were.
lost. I think it's one. It was my
It
friend
was
told me it was
1-0 when we
one.
hopped on.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
1-1 final.
1-1.
Yeah,
Final.
final.
Damn. Well done, Forge. Find a way. Find a way. That rivalry, man. What that rivalry goes, we talked about that already. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, you want to do picks? All right. So right now, what's the score?
Right now, you went 1-2 the first one, and then 3-0.
So 4-2.
4-2.
Holy,
I went 2-1. I'm 3-3.
yo.
I am 3-3. So let's do this. So let's go. Not obviously today. Let's go. Or 7th. Let's go next week. So the 10th, we've got Minnesota versus Montreal. Whew. Toronto versus Nashville.
Where's the game? Minnesota. It's in Montreal. Okay.
Is it in Montreal?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got the
Toronto
Whitecaps
versus
versus
Nashville.
Cincinnati. How about Cincy this year? What the
Bro,
fuck?
Lucho Acosta's disgusting, bro. When PSG wanted to buy him, that's when I'm like, yeah, this guy's different, bro. He's actually different.
That's
He's giving you
outrageous.
he's giving you 15 and 15 a season, bro. You know how crazy 30 goal contributions like that? It's crazy. And he's like 5'2". He's absolutely disgusting. He's another one. Him, Maxi Morales, Giovinco,
Maxi Morales. Oh my
Max,
God.
bro. They're ball return, bro. These guys do not lose the rock, bro. I'm like, how can you just not knock this guy over? Bro, playing with Maxi, he's the best five-a-side player I've ever played with in my life.
That's saying
Excellent,
something
bro.
considering you were with David Villa and Pirlo.
Yeah, bro. Best five-a-side, bro. Maxi was because he was one of those guys that would run all the time. Like he wasn't like, yeah, he was a DP, but take the ball from the goalkeeper, pass it 1-2, want to get it, score, come back. Like, yo, he was running, defending, like he'll crunch mans. I'm like, bro, why? I'm like, why is this guy slide tackling at 5'4", bro, 5'5"? So funny, yo, bro. Maxi was unbelievable. That guy, yo, if he was on your team, you're winning. Because we used to have like a table, and like the bottom 5 guys would have to buy lunch for the team. I'm like, bro, I need Maxi on my team, bro. I never lost, never lost, bro. So that
Oh,
was a
that's
plus. So
awesome.
which one do you want?
All right. Yeah.
I'll go to West
I
Coast, but I'm gonna
I
choose
start
Cincy.
I start oh, I start first. You started first last time.
Motherfucker.
That was my pick too. I'm going Cincy over Vancouver. I'm going Cincy over Vancouver. I just think, the Whitecaps, they've been on a good run, but I just think Cincy have got it.
I think
I know the other two suck.
honestly, I'm gonna pick Nashville over Toronto. Hani Mukhtar is too good, bro.
Yeah, that's a tough
He
one,
has
man.
100. He has like 98 goal contributions in 100 games.
It's absurd.
And Nashville's not even like a ball playing team. Like he's like Harry Kane. He backpacks that team, bro. He literally backpacks that team.
Oh, and
They
then I
they they work
guess
hard defensively. So the least they're coming out with a win or a tie. I don't know if they'll lose the TFC.
I'll take a draw between Montreal and Minnesota. And then
Okay.
here are the CPL games. So you get to choose 2 of these. I get to choose 1. So
Okay.
Valor versus Forge in Winnipeg.
Mm.
Atletico versus Vancouver FC in Ottawa. Halifax versus Cavalry in Nova Scotia in Halifax. And then Pacific versus York at Pacific.
I'm gonna pick that Atletico Ottawa over Vancouver.
Vancouver. Okay. I am going to take You know what? I'm gonna take Forge over Valor away.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take Calvary over Halifax
All
away.
right. There we
Yeah.
go. Those are the
I'm gonna take
picks.
Calvary over Halifax.
Honestly,
Yes.
I'm staying away from Pacific and York. Like both of them, I'm just
Yeah.
staying the fuck
Bro,
away.
they be
Because
going like this, bro, up and
oh, well,
crazy.
we already
This
talked about
consistency.
Pacific. Pacific can't seem to keep the ball out of their net, and York just seem to be getting results out of the blue sometimes because they just
That goal, bro, goal of the year so far.
unreal.
Sorry, G. I'm sorry. I know you're standing on your head and stuff like right now, G, but 40 yards, you gotta give it to him. It's not like
That's a tip your cap moment.
yeah. It's not like you were supposed to save it anyway. So
No.
that's crazy. And you explained it perfectly. It's like if he shoots it, goes over the net, whatever. They tie the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. Like it was one of those ones where it just don't hit someone and have them counter.
Somebody.
Just
Because he
anything
was
but that.
yeah. Because I was looking at the guys that were up. There was only one York guy back and like 3 guys on four. It's like, damn. But what a strike. But yes, this has been episode 18, 17, 18.
18.
18. Wow, flying through these. Obviously, we got to be more. I'm going to be more consistent. I just been obviously traveling and driving 7.5 hours in one day. It kind of just like, nah, I'm not trying to do this shit. But yeah, I mean, happy that you're enjoying your new job. That's another plus. And I've been the one clip you put up of you and your brother talking about Mother's Day. That shit was hilarious. That shit, I was genuinely laughing. I was like, damn. It's like y'all are the worst. One person, he's like, yo, you gonna cook? He's like, yeah, I am. You're like, yo, did you get a gift? It's like, nah. It's like, yo, y'all not on the same page.
That is what life is like growing up. That's like our household, man. That's like, it's not even just like us. That's my extended family. So when we get together, it is like, it's sharpen your knives and be ready to go because it's gonna be a fucking knife fight. Just darts being thrown at you from everywhere, and you gotta defend yourself. And oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like
I really enjoyed the clips, bro. I really enjoyed the clips. You guys seem like not just seeing your brother, like obviously the rest of the guys. Like you guys seem close. Obviously, you watch them play a lot of times, so that's dope, man.
Yeah, well, we
100%.
like. I mean, Mateo. Like I grew up with Mateo and his family.
Yeah.
Like we've known each other like our whole lives. Like it's kind of crazy to think about it now, but yeah, no, it was good. I obviously really enjoyed the interview. I'm actually going to watch those guys today. They play
really?
here in a couple hours. Yeah, so they play. I actually have no idea who they play, but
how are they doing in the league?
They're doing okay. Oh, you know what? This is one other thing. This is something that needs to be brought up. They're doing well. I think they're at the top, but they can't field their best 11 because League One BC has put in a rule that so many players under the age of 23 need to be on the field at one time. They put in a rule that so many players under the age of 19 have to be on the roster. So a group of players who have just gone in. So the lineup they played against Valor and Pacific, they can't not allowed in the league. Yet BC League One are going to take on and go, wow, look at this fucking story. If it was up to them, they wouldn't even be able to fucking do it.
That's crazy. Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Like,
I don't know if that's a thing in League One Ontario.
It's not. They have League One reserves. It's not a fucking thing. Like you're giving you provide this opportunity exactly for those guys who are older and want to still play at a high level. Maybe they get signed, maybe they don't, but they're committed to doing that. And you're literally telling them, well, not all of you can do it. Go fuck yourselves. Honestly.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, League One BC do better, man. Do
Bunch
better.
Of fucking
just like the CPL got to take away the U21 minutes, bro. If you're good, if you're old enough, if you're good enough, then you're old enough, bro. That's what I mean.
There you go.
Sorry,
100%.
But if you're good enough, you're old enough, dog.
Well, because part of the problem that I'm seeing now is like there are certain clubs in League One who are now going to find youth players from other clubs because they don't have a foundation to build within that for an under 19 kid. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing? They're fucking youth players. Let them play. If they're good enough and they're going to come up and they're going to train all the time. And hey, you know what? You're doing really well in training. We want to bring you on the bench and you introduce it that way. I
Mhm.
completely understand, but that's not what they're
Mhm.
doing because they have these rules they have to abide by. It's fucking
Mhm.
stupid.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Yeah, League One BC do better. West Coast do better. Maybe you guys need some snow. Maybe you guys will get a little tough. You'll
We need to
understand.
build
Y'all
some.
understand.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck building enough domes. You know how expensive that shit would be.
Yeah. Welcome to Ontario. Dome and everything, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Dome over
Just think
every
about
field.
every dome is going to cost 50 mil for the land itself.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 18. Enjoyed this. This really felt like us just chatting shit about soccer in general, yo. And I enjoyed it. There's a lot more to come. We're gonna try and get a women's national team player. Are you gonna
It'd
ask?
be great. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna reach out to some people because
yeah,
honestly, like I want to preview the World Cup, especially with that camp
100%.
too, with
Mm-hmm,
Janine being hurt and stuff and how they're kind of adapting to it. Like it'd be a really
mm-hmm,
unique thing. Um,
mm-hmm,
and also just to talk about what that process and what that pathway looks like and
mm-hmm,
what they're looking for now in the future, right? Like
mm-hmm.
it's a huge learning opportunity. So it'll be really
100%.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try to reach out to a couple people as well. And even if I can get some American national team players, like I'll try my best with that one as well. And yeah, definitely more interviews, and then we can record them, and then obviously post like when we have like another episode, like pre-record and then post them.
Yeah.
But for the most part, 18. Wow, it seems like it's not a lot, but like the episodes that we've had have been top quality. Like definitely guys that we definitely need to bring back on though.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Yeah, but yeah, guys, that's a wrap. Once again, Top Bin Talks presented to you by FTF Canada. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kwame Awua, and that is Mr. Adam Jones.